The meeting of the Planning Commission will come to order. Please rise and follow Commissioner Uva in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Place your right hand over your heart and ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the Deputy City Clerk please call roll?
Yes, Chair. Commissioner Uva,
Present.
Commissioner Ortiz,
Present.
Commissioner Duarte,
Present.
and Chair Owens.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is the time set aside for oral communications from the Planning Commission. Does any commissioner wish to make an announcement, or report on a conference, or a meeting, or request items for future agenda? Vice Chair Ortiz.
Yes, Chair. Actually, this past weekend, I had the opportunity to attend the California Contract Cities Annual Municipal Seminar over the weekend. It was a great seminar. I learned a lot, and I reached out to Crystal, some information that I learned, and hopefully we can get that ball going. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Uva.
Nothing for me.
And Commissioner Duarte, sorry.
Nothing for me.
All right. Does the interim community development director have any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Does the interim community development director have any presentations?
No presentations tonight.
Thank you. Does the interim community development director have a report on city council actions?
No reportable actions.
Thank you. Now is the time set aside for the public hearing for a special event application PLN-22-00048. Does the deputy city clerk have proof of publication?
Yes, Chair, I have it right here.
Thank you. And will the interim community development director introduce staff making the presentation?
Giving the presentation tonight is our principal planner, Guillermo Areola.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Before you use Patcher's American Canteen's yearly request for approval of a special event permit for their Memorial Day event, which will be taking place on May 30th, 2022. Linda, can this switch the screen? Or Scott? I have it. Me and the controller. The property is located at 11045 Downey Avenue and zoned downtown Downey specific plan. And the event is very similar to the event that they apply for every year. The event will take place on Monday, May 30th from noon to 10 p.m. and will include the closure of 2nd Street between New Avenue and Downey Avenue. The applicant has obtained written approvals from all of the adjacent property owners. The event will include jersey barriers at New Street and Downey at the intersections. There will be perimeter crowd control, fencing around the event. It will be free. A stage will be set up on 2nd Avenue where live entertainment will take place from noon to 8 p.m. The event will also include a number of vendors as well as a beer garden and 2 beer trailers. Entry to this portion of the event will be limited to persons 21 years of age and older and fenced off from the street portion of the event. Staff member will be positioned at the entrance of the beer garden checking IDs and providing colored wristbands. Sale and consumption of alcohol is limited to the beer garden area. Setup for the parking lot area will begin Sunday, May 29 at noon, and street closure and setup will begin on Monday, May 30th at 6 a.m. Event breakdown and the opening of the street will be completed by midnight. The different city departments required their standard conditions of approval. The fire department required adequate emergency access, and the police department is requiring 2 uniformed Downey police officers to be posted at the event from 5 p.m. till closing. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Gilbert. At this time, Commissioner Ortiz, any questions from staff?
No questions, the same thing as last year?
Well, 2019,
2019,
COVID,
yeah.
but yes, same event.
Okay, no questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
Just one question. I noticed in our report, the Development Review Committee noted that there was some unruly behavior at a previous Memorial Day event and that 2 Downey police officers were required. The last time we did it was 2019. Was it 1 officer or was it 2?
So they required 2 officers for that event. It was unruly behavior previous to that. So we decided, police department just decided, let's just keep 2 police officers and seemed to have an effect.
Okay, that's fine. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Duarte?
My question was just answered.
Great, thank you. And I have none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about the project. Commissioner Ortiz?
I have none, Chair.
Commissioner Uva?
None.
Commissioner Duarte?
None.
And I have none. Thank you. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Well, I'm Tony. I'm the general manager at Bastards Canteen here in Downey. I'm also the executive chef. I'm here to answer any questions for you guys.
Okay. So Commissioner Ortiz, questions of Tony?
No, I love this event, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Uva?
Same for me. Great event.
Thank you.
Commissioner Duarte?
I just look forward to attending.
Yeah,
You
same
you
here.
guys are all welcome to come.
It's always a great event.
Thank you.
you. Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
Mr. Chairman, there have been no correspondence.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposition of this application?
Good evening. I'm here in support of, who can forget? Bastards. I love bastards. Never mistreated myself or my service animal. Never once. Except for those fucking jackasses next door, Lock and Key, who use their security to personally violate my First Amendment right to attend and eat in a restaurant there in Downey. So fuck Lock and Key. Thank you, bastards, for all your support. So again, I'm going to read into the record my claim of relief in regards to why I believe bastards, regardless of the incidents of unruly behavior, that's anywhere. It happens all the time now. It's frequent. We can't prejudge events based on incidents like that. It would be totally acceptable to understand if someone came in and created a public nuisance of havoc, meaning murdering and killing people just for the fun of it. But it's not going to happen at Bastards. Those men and women who serve this country, they're patrons who pay to want to sit and eat, drink, talk, laugh, and sometimes use vulgarity because it's part of our nature to socialize. It's acceptable. And I salute them for that. That's why my relief of violations of 1st, 5th, 14th Amendment, Article Section 2 of the California Constitution regarding enforcements of unconstitutional rules of decorum. I read this
Topic.
into the record.
Stay on topic, please.
Well, it is on topic because it deals with why Bastards is named Bastards. It's not offensive.
Stay on topic.
It's the
Special
name
event
of an
permit,
establishment
please.
that's going to have an event for those of us who like to celebrate. Thank you, Tony, and your staff. I personally don't know anyone there, personally, but I sat in the front of the restaurant on the benches, observed people going by, and I have a great time by myself with my service animal. Woo, woo, woo. Get it, Owen? So I know you're gonna pass this without any content, and I'm gonna serve my paperwork here to the actions of my free speech and my observation that I'm here to support the restaurant and establishment. Now, as far as crazy locals, that's something I still want to talk about.
City Attorney,
Because
can we
it's
give
a
a first
restaurant.
warning?
Topic.
It's a restaurant, sir. I'm going to relate it to my participation until Jackass Ortiz
Stay on
stepped in.
topic, please.
42 U.S.C. 1983.
Thank you.
Fuck you. There you go, man. Thank you. Jackass. America's not free anymore.
Good evening. I'd like to see the special permit issued and approved for Bastards for the Memorial Day celebration for our soldiers. I'd also like to have it ensured that we no longer have any unconstitutional mandates on us, like mask mandates and vaccine mandates, which are not vaccines at all, to any event of this nature, and not this Memorial Day or any future Memorial Days. There should not be any of those issued ever again. This is a clear violation of our civil liberties and our constitutional rights. And people make their own choices, whether they want to go to the event or not. As far as unruly behavior, well, you get a lot of people, there's going to chance to be somebody who's going to be unruly. So I just ask that you approve this permit for Bastards Restaurant. Thank you.
I'm Mike Greenspan. I've often been called by Goyim a Jewish bastard, so it's kind of an interesting name. But the thing about bastards, they're the good people this time. They're out there helping the people who've served our country, not politicians that serve themselves. No, it's the other way around. People that aren't politicians and lifers and cradle-to-gravers serving themselves. These are the people that let you be what you are. And to
Topic.
I'm just saying what
Stay on topic.
Well, it's saluting our military, unless you're that
This is a
unpatriotic.
special event permit. Stay on topic.
Yes, for military people who serve our country, and they serve when they serve day in and day out, and they don't ask anything for it. I mean, they get their paycheck, no problem. But what I'm saying is they're the ones that deserve this honor on Memorial Day. This should not be a 365-day-a-year thing, but on a special day such as Memorial Day, bastards are good people. Now, from what I've heard, Lock and Key is a piece of shit operation, but other than that, not everybody's a good neighbor. And maybe those problems started with Lock and Key and just spilled over into bastards. And I'm sure our Downey police will keep it under control. There will be no problems. And if there are, there'll be a Downey jail that'll hold them until they go to county jail, from Downey to county. But I'm on the upside. I'm being positive and saying there won't be incidents. People will be happy to celebrate Memorial Day and to celebrate in style, to a style that, you get to let your hair down. And so, folks, I have no problems with this. It's not a controversial bar. It's a bar that's community accepted. It's not like Ojos Locos, which, we don't have demonstrations out here against bastards, and we don't have the news media coming out here picturing people with picket signs and everything and having signs at the council meetings. No, this is a good operation that should be given a chance. I mean, if they were a place with a consistent record of problems, I would say, oh, that's terrible, don't have it. But no, I haven't got anything to say like that. It's positive and upbeat. Even the master chef has come here. The master chef and the head honcho. I tip my hat to him and say, good going. And I hope you have a very successful thing. I hope you don't have to wear a mask. I had to go to an LA library today and I had to pick up a mask. Thank you.
The public hearing is now closed. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, staff recommends the Planning Commission adopt the attached resolution approving PLN-22-00048.
Okay, it is now time for the planning commission to deliberate. Does the commission have any question at this time, or would the commission like to discuss the item or motion?
I motion.
Do you have a motion?
I motion to pass PLN-22-00048.
Second.
So we have a motion. It's been moved and seconded. May we have the vote, please? The action of the planning commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the city council with the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in the city's municipal code.
The item was approved unanimously. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. Now is the time set aside for the public hearing for the conditional use permit PLN-22-00001. On this one, the applicant has submitted a letter requesting this item be continued to the June 15, 2022 Planning Commission meeting. May I have a motion to continue this item to June 15, 2022 Planning Commission meeting?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second.
I apologize for that, Chair. I think there was a typo in your script. It's actually June 1st is what the letter is requesting.
Okay. So can we get a motion to move this until June 1?
Okay, so I move to move PLN 22-0001 to June 1st, 2022.
Second.
Okay, now I have a motion and a second. Could we now take a vote?
Yes, please vote. Okay, thank you. And the motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Now is the time set aside for public hearing for the planned sign program application PLN-21-00087. Does the deputy city clerk have proof of publication?
Yes, Chair, I have the proof of publication.
And will the interim community development director introduce staff making this presentation?
Our senior planner, Alfonso Hernandez, will be giving this presentation.
Good evening, Chair Owens, members of the Planning Commission. Tonight, you're being asked to consider a planned sign program for a commercial center at 12202 Paramount Boulevard. This is an aerial of the lot outlined in red. It is located at the southeast corner of Paramount Boulevard and Alameda Street. Here is the corresponding zoning. The property is found within the C2 zone. All these surrounding properties are also zoned C2. Commercial uses are found at the properties north, south, and west, and a multifamily residence is located at the property to the east. Here are images of what the site looks like today. Here is the site plan showing the placement of each sign. In total, there are 5 signs proposed. Here is an image of the elevations showing the sign placement on the building. The image at the top is facing Paramount Boulevard, and the image at the bottom is facing Alameda Street. The total square footage between all signs is 238.75 square feet. All signs are allowed a maximum height of 36 inches and a maximum length of 75% of the storefront's length. Lastly, the signs will be face lit or halo lit. And the image to the right are signs that may be approved per the standards in the plan sign program. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion that all findings can be made in a positive manner. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Does the Planning Commission have any questions of staff? Commissioner Ortiz.
None for me, Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Uva.
None for me.
Commissioner Duarte.
Not at this moment.
Although I didn't see the details, I have just a couple questions. So these are LED signs?
Yes, they are.
Are there any neon or gas tubes or any other type of luminous medium, or it's just all LEDs in these?
All LED, no neon.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Before I open the public hearing and call the applicant or his or her representative, this would be the time for the planning commissioners to disclose any pre-hearing site visits or pre-hearing discussions that the commissioners may have had about the project. So Commissioner Ortiz.
I have none, Chair.
Commissioner Uva.
None.
Commissioner Duarte.
None.
And I have none. The public hearing is now open. Will the applicant or his or her representative please come forward to give testimony?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kelly Alvarado. I work with the sign contractor. We were hired by the landlord to help facilitate this sign program for approval. Energy efficient lighting, it'll be all LED, energy labeling, all of the required code for the city has been followed. So we're just asking for approval so that the existing tenants can get those banners down and replace those with actual signs.
Thank you. Has there been any correspondence in favor or opposition?
No correspondence.
All right. I think we're good with you.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions before I excuse the representative? Okay. Thank you. So no correspondence. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor or opposition to the application? So I gotta get.
So we're dealing with 5 signs, okay? Hypothetically, this here is a sign. This here is a sign.
Mr. Herman, please address the chair, please.
Yes.
You know the rules.
I'm facing Alameda, and I'm showing the public what a particular sign might represent. A picture or LED lights and neon standing out. There was actually a great song by one of the country singers of 2 who said, "Under the neon moon." But I like neon lights. Why? Because they attract my attention visually. That's why I have to have my spectacles on, Mr. Duarte, because I'm partially blind.
Topic. Stay on topic.
Fine. Topic. Window signage. Fucking window signage area will be a maximum of 15% and may be placed within the reach of a window with the maximum fucking total area. All fucking windows are not to exceed 30%. Am I on topic? Yes. Approval must be obtained by the fucking landlord and the fucking city of Downey by permit. Planning division and all fucking windows and signs must be the landlord's approval. And at the landlord's cost, because we do not want exposed junction box, lamps and doubling or neon crossovers or cross covers of any type that are not permitted. Oh, I'm sorry, politically fucking not permitted. Then in the general requirement on this continued page of multiple pages, the tenant shall be responsible for installation and maintenance of signs. Well, we already know that because half the motherfuckers don't fix the signs once they break. 2, No case shall in any manufacturer's label be visible from the street or from normal viewing angles. Well, guess what? They are. Some of us have eyes like a spider. Some of us have eyes like myself who are very observant to signage. And I like to read because I don't like to make a fucking mistake poking my eye out or stepping into an area where the neon lights tell me, stay the fuck out. Warning, warning. Then, also on item 16, all lighting must match the exact specifications of the approval working drawings, which, again, I rendered a particular picture, a particular type of neon, although it's not lit up because it's not worth my time to light you guys up. Thank you. There you go, ma'am. Submitting this into the record regarding PLN. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, sir. Excuse me. Go right ahead.
Mike Greenspan? Yes, there's an old song. Goes back, sign, sign, everywhere a sign. Well, hopefully these will be attractive signs. Hopefully they won't be trashy and ugly and an eyesore, because signs get to be that way after a while. Downey is great at neglecting things, and when you drive by them, what was years ago curb appeal has gone to be curb yuck. So I hope we don't slip into that with the signs. Recently, they did a movie across the street from where I live at a burger joint, and they tore down the Jimmy sign and they put up something to make it look like New England. And guess what? Afterward, they gave a new Jimmy sign to it. So don't be adverse if maybe somebody wants to do filming here, because when the Hollywood people do come in, well, I'm telling you, when they come in, they tear a sign down to put theirs up, and then they'll put the sign and replace it with a new sign, a nice new one. I sure hope you don't red tape them and chase away several permitted production days because the Planning Commission and the city attorney and a few other people want to just put the kibosh on things. So I hope we are considering that when we do filming and tear a sign down, that, yeah, they'll give us another one. So it'll be Joe's Bar for a week or so while they do their filming, and then it'll be back to maybe if it were Bastards or D&G or UCA or CG Boutique or Great Clips, wherever. I'm just saying, allow for things to happen. Don't make things so much, I would say, etched in stone, but no, just don't make it to where it's concreted and you can't do anything because your regulations are all fucked up. And people say, fine, bye, Downey, I'm going to take our jobs, our money, our permitted production days elsewhere where they're sign friendly. So be friendly to them when they come in with money to do things. And, oh, well, we got to tear that sign down to use that. That's a great location for a shoot, but they won't let us tear the sign down. And even though they're going to give you a newer one and a better one, they still can't.
You're off topic. You're talking about something entirely different than this item. Look at the agenda and start talking about the item.
Okay, well, anyway, just don't fuck it up, okay? Thank you. And we won't miss you when you leave.
The public hearing is now closed. Does the planning staff have a recommendation?
Yes, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve PLN-21-00087.
Okay, it is now time for the planning commission to deliberate. Does the commission have any questions at this time, or would the commission like to discuss the item? Commissioner Ortiz?
First and foremost, I apologize for what you just witnessed. I know how exciting it is to have new signs in businesses. I know how important it is to advertise, so I'm full support of everything.
Commissioner Uva?
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Duarte?
I'm in support of the sign program. So.
myself as well, sitting here as that property was developed originally and getting to see, the fruits of everyone's labor, I'm excited about the enhancements that you brought to us tonight in regards to the signage. Thank you. At this time, I'll take a motion.
Motion to pass PLN-21-00087.
And may I get a second? So we have a motion and a second.
The motion passes to approve PLN 21-00087 unanimously.
Great, thank you. The action of the Planning Commission will be final unless the matter is appealed to the City Council with the appropriate fee within the next 15-day period as set forth in the city's municipal code. Thank you. You got it, thank you. The next item has been moved. So it's a site plan review, conditional use permit, and zone change application. The applicant has submitted a letter requesting that this item be continued to June 1, 2022 at the Planning Commission meeting. May I have a motion to continue this item to June 1?
Motion to move PLN-22-00044 to June 1st.
And seeking a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Okay, now's the time for non-agenda public comment. This portion of the agenda provides an opportunity for the public to address the Planning Commission. We're in now? Okay, sorry.
The item passes 4-0 to approve PLN, to continue PLN 22-00044. I apologize. Okay.
Okay. So non-agenda public comment. This portion of the agenda provides an opportunity for the public to address the Planning Commission on non-agenda, consent, and other business items within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission and not listed on the agenda. It is requested but not required that you state your name, address, and subject matter upon which you wish to speak. Please limit your comments for non-agenda items to no more than 4 minutes. Pursuant to the Brown Act, no discussion or action other than a brief response, referral to the city planning staff, or schedule for a subsequent agenda shall be taken by the Planning Commission on any issue brought forth under this section.
It's very important to have consideration when it comes to planning. And the reason we have to have that consideration is because lately, Housing and Planning Commission have been selling out the public. What does that mean, selling out? Well, based on my U.S. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, Washington, D.C. 20530 zip code, regarding a particular report number, for the record, 112861XML, please refer to this number in the future if you want to ask about your report. We generally do not open investigations based on individual claims. However, discrimination is a serious complaint. Thank you, sir. And we're going to forward these suggestions for your help. So, this particular letter in my hand is that I opened an investigation regarding housing discrimination by particular cities. Now, it's a fact we're seeing a crisis on our streets, not just in Downey, not just in El Monte, not just in Cerritos, not just in Pasadena, not just in Los Angeles, not just in any other city like West Covina, but everywhere. And why? Why do we have to have homelessness on our streets in a time like this, Mr. Owens? Why? Selfish, greedy developers, along with commissioners, have been involved in padding their wallets and feeding their fat face feeding their fat faces behind closed doors with no transparency. That's why we have rent problems. That's the reason why we have homeless crisis. And that's the reason why on May 30th, you're going to want to celebrate Veterans Day after you discard men and women and their families on the streets to live like sheltered little pigs. So yes, I'm upset. For years I've been fighting this issue on homelessness. HHH, Kevin DeLeon, fucking broken record from LA, promised us housing. $1.6 billion wasted and stolen. Sacramento, $1 trillion deficit, stealing from housing. Last night I was in West Covina on the record in which I submitted to my paperwork. There, 39 unit condos, only $650,000. Only. Not even a police officer in Downey can afford that unless he works double overtime and works at some strip bar as a security guard for a tip. So yeah, it's frustrating seeing the American people struggle while you make decisions for development. Look at the promenade, a big vacant lot, a hole in our city, because you decide what's important for your wallet, not for the interest of the public, not for the interest of the hardworking men and women, law enforcement, firemen, nurses, and disabled elderly people to get off the fucking street if they get hurt on a job and can't fucking work. 42 U.S.C. 1983, politely. Housing. HHH. There you go, man. Thank you. Thanks for the record.
Mike is it? Okay. Mike Greenspan, is the mic on? Yeah. Okay. Now I want to expand a little bit on one of the things Mr. Herman talked about, because as you drive around, doesn't matter what city, there's lots of housing construction going on. But then start reading the signs on the projects. All the signs seem to say luxury apartments. Now, you can't solve homeless problems by building luxury apartments. It won't work. At best, in a luxury apartment complex, you might get 11 or 12% of what's called low income and very low income. And they've only started those terms recently because when they would use the term affordable, I would start to define, well, who can afford it? You know, Steve Ballmer, who owns the Clippers, for $2 billion, got a bargain. Or Shaquille O'Neal, former NBA star, or Magic Johnson, a former NBA star and current team owner, and other business owners. So affordable was a bad term. So now we have to use the words low income and very low income. But I drove by one of these places in Studio City. Other than the fact that the retirement home stood there 3 or 4 years vacant, when I actually read the proposal, I think it was 11% was going to be the low income, very low income. Well, now that's not, and that's where they're actually building some. I've seen places that have been built and they were supposed to be for low income, and they turned around and didn't provide low income. And guess what? This was in San Francisco, a couple of high rises in an area called Visitation Valley. The city seized it. And guess what? Now it is for low income people because the developer lied, went back on his word, and didn't provide a certain amount of low income housing. That's how serious it could be. Maybe we should do that with places here where we're told that it's going to be housing for low income, and then suddenly you see the word luxury and realize luxury and low income don't belong in the same sentence. I live across the street from the building. In fact, if you read the LA Weekly years ago, when they would advertise pot shops, one of them was across the street from me called House of Ounces. And now it's going to be luxury housing. Now we've got the Seabreeze, 350 units, no disabled housing. Well, whose project is that anyway? Oh, what's that supervisor name? Cunt Janice Hahn. Yes, her pet project or whatever. Well, wouldn't it be nice if the dingbat would actually be compliant with the disabled and ADA? We'll pass feel-good legislation. We'll have wonderful ribbon cuttings and everything else, and politicians clapping hands and yay, and the developers who bribe them, they're clapping their hands too. Yay. But what about the people? The people, they can't afford those things. I mean, maybe some can afford it if they work on those housing projects. One in LA had to set aside a certain amount so the construction workers could afford some of the housing. That's at the corner of Crescent Heights and Sunset. Just to show you some of the many failures that we have had in our construction thing. But we have built wonderful luxury apartments.
Quickly, I think it'd be great to see the Planning Commission of Downey spearhead a campaign, then have it start here in the state of California and Downey, that you start a movement and start rolling back all the zoning laws and how we negotiate for the land. That's why the price of all the housing and buildings are so high. And maybe use as a template what they do in Texas, where they pretty much have zero zoning laws and you can build whatever you want on your property instead of negotiating for the land here. Because the way you negotiate for the land here, $1 million house has the same materials, it's the same labor as they do in Houston, Texas, but that $1 million house in Houston, Texas costs only $200,000 because of their zoning laws are really restricted. Let people build. Get out of the way, let the free market work. Let people have the freedom. You don't have to have control of everything, and that's why we have this issue here in California. You're negotiating pig-headedly about the land. That's what we're doing here. All the environmentalists and all this stuff, they need to be removed and set aside. Get rid of the zoning laws, use Texas as a template. Thank you.
Moving on to the consent calendar. We have nothing on the consent calendar this evening. Does the interim community development director have any additional comments?
Yes, I have one notification that I wanted to make for the Planning Commission. So the Planning Commission was very involved, along with the planning staff, in developing the single-family design guidelines. And we were recently awarded, the City of Downey was recently awarded from the Los Angeles chapter of the American Planning Association an award for the efforts into that and the adoption of that program.
Congratulations. At this time, I'm going to call for adjournment until we meet again, and that looks like it's scheduled for June 1 in these chambers at 6:30. Thank you.
All right.